Östersund is located in the middle of Sweden, in the middle of Scandinavia, in the northern part of Europe.
Nicknamed the center of Sweden, the city of Östersund is considered unique. Its history is closely linked to the presence of the Vikings, who colonized the region 1,000 years ago. Today, it is the only major Swedish city that is not located on the seaside, exposing visitors to a landscape very different from the rest of the country.
A very wild region with very much mountains, snowy mountains, and it's more about the outdoor life.
It's called the winter town, so most of the events that happen in this town is during the winter. There are generally events out on the lake because it's frozen, so you go out on the ice and you can go like hockey, both skating and skiing, cross-country skiing.
Skiing, everyone knows skiing. Skiing has a good reputation. It's good to be famous for good skiing.
But whatever the season, a strange mystery occupies the minds of Östersund residents, as it has for centuries. A mystery as impenetrable as the murky waters that house it.
Östersund is a town located by a lake called Storsjön. It's a huge lake, the 5th largest in Sweden, but it has more water than some of the other bigger ones because of the depth of the lake.
This is a very big lake. Part of it is very deep, and it's dark water. You just have to go 1 or 2 meters under surface, and it's getting really dark, and at the bottom it's black.
This body of water came into existence at the end of the last ice age, over 9,000 years ago. It extends over 464 square kilometers, or 180 square miles, and reaches depths of up to 74 meters, or 242 feet. The mysterious sightings in the lake have led some to speculate that such a body of water could provide a suitable habitat for a giant animal species. This ancient mystery has given the place a special character. Popular legends from past centuries and eyewitness accounts of recent years suggest that a creature unknown to science inhabits Storsjön Lake. It is even believed that if its existence could be proved, mankind's understanding of science would forever be transformed.
It's a huge animal. It's not something that is normal, that would exist in the lake, in any lake. This is huge.
Oh, there!
The testimonies and sightings of strange activity on the lake are so numerous that very few dare rule out the possibility that something unknown is living in Storsjön Lake. But everyone has their own theory about the beast's shape.
I would describe the Great Lake monster as somewhat snake-like. It seems to be a long animal that just goes up and down in the water.
Like this. It moves very, very fast. It's about more than 10 meters, and it's black, gray, shifting.
Humps. And probably it has a head that looks like a dog or maybe a horse.
Almost like something between a snake and a dragon.
Maybe a cousin to some plesiosaur type of animal.
From the dinosaur times, with a long neck and a small head and a big body.
I saw something over the surface I can't explain. Big, black, beautiful, in the same time scary. So, of course, it is something, but what it is, we don't know actually.
Lake Storsjön, The fifth largest in Sweden has not changed much since the last ice age. Except for a few months in the summer, it spends most of the year covered in a thick layer of ice. In warmer weather, boaters and fishermen frequent its waters. Almost all of the inhabitants of Östersund, and even most of Sweden, believe that a mysterious creature lives beneath the lake's surface.
People think about it and talk about it, not every day, but absolutely every summer, because every summer someone sees it and it's in the newspaper that someone saw it. So I would say it's like a conversation piece every year. It's always there.
Yeah, I think it's very well known here in this region. Most people know someone that have seen it or talks about it. And it's the only lake monster we have in Sweden, so it's well known in Sweden too.
Mostly it's maybe 1 or 2 articles in the newspaper every year about people have seen the monster. And of course, everyone doesn't go to the press to tell about their observations. So I would say maybe there are around 5 or 10 people every year who claim to have seen the monster, but not everyone is so open about it.
Is it to alleviate the mystery that the Swedes gave the monster a name? In English, the beast is simply called Storsey, but the Swedes have their own word for it, named after the image they have of it.
Storsjöodjuret. It's 3 words. Stor for big, sjö for lake, and odjur for a beast.
My name is Göte Norlander. I saw this Great Lake monster at 1982. Ja, jag behövde ett specialverktyg för jag höll på och mekade hemma då och for ner till min verkstad och där träffade jag min hyresvärd som äger huset som jag hyrde lokalen i. Vi pratade och tittade lite grann efter stranden då, lite längre ifrån oss. 75-80 meter ifrån oss så ser vi plötsligt någonting som ligger flytande vid stranden, strax intill stranden. Och det var som en timmerstock som var lite räfflad, om vi säger så. Lite knulig, som vi säger i Sverige. Lite ojämn. Nåväl, det gick en liten stund så tittade vi lite längre utåt och då kommer plötsligt upp en båge ur vattnet. Den här bågen var 4-5 meter lång. Det var 60-70 centimeter hög och den var mörkgrå, nästan mot svart med guldbruna stick i då. Guldbruna punkter. Och då är den här bågen i vattnet då. Nu vart vi väldigt upphetsade, både Viktor och jag, så att, men vad var det där? Så då sa jag till Viktor att, men nu du minsann Viktor, nu såg vi allt Storsjöodjuret. Nej, det här pratar vi inte så mycket om, säger han då. Så då höll vi tyst i 3-4 år då, men sen så tyckte vi det var lika bra att prata om och berätta om det här, för det var en verkligt spännande upplevelse.
I saw Storsjöodjuret, the Great Lake Monster, in 1977, on August the 10th. I was 16 years old and I was on my way home on my bicycle. And I was looking down because I wanted to see if there was coming a car. So I was doing like this and there was no car, but just for a split 2 seconds, I managed to see something huge rise in the water down there. It was black and it came up like this, and the size of a Volkswagen, and black in the water. So I thought, what was that? But to the left of me, I had 3 gentlemen aged 40 to 50, and they were very upset, and they were talking loudly and pointing and like this. And I realized then, well, I've probably seen what they call Storsjöodjuret. I just had a glimpse of it, but as any kid would have done, I went down to the lake again, and then I had the second sighting.
40 minutes later, Michael was walking along the shore when he saw the creature up close. It was less than 10 meters or 33 feet from him. His memories are still very vivid, even 35 years later.
I could see it was like 2 to 3 meters long, above the surface like this much. And it swam not like this or like this, but straight forward, like a boat turned upside down, which is a very common description of this animal that many people have seen, that you find again and again in articles. The skin of the animal was dark, or sort of black, I think, and it reminds me, or reminded me of whale skin, sort of. It had no hair or anything like that. And the speed of it was, you know, if you jog like this, that was the speed, so I walked in a similar pace and for some distance, and I got this idea, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm not going to lie about it. I thought I wanted to see more than this. I wanted to see the head. So I picked up a small rock like this, and I figured that if I hit it on the back, it might look up. That was the thinking of a 16-year-old. And I threw the stone.
But he missed his target. For several minutes, Michael observed the movements of the beast on the surface of the water while it moved away from the shore.
And then a boat was approaching from beneath the bridges, and then it dove. I was not afraid when I saw it. I was safe on land, but I wouldn't have been wanting to be in a boat at that moment, I can tell you that.
Most accounts of strange phenomena on Lake Storsjön are reported by residents on the shore. But from time to time, a sighting is made on the water, and such encounters take on a whole new dimension.
My name is Evert Festin. I have seen the Great Lake monster from about 3-4 meters distance. En sen kväll i juli 1994 var jag och min fru ute och uttrade. På den som är sträckt så går det på en fisk, och jag börjar på att dra in den. Och när jag kanske var halvvägs in med fisken så går det på någonting på linan som går rakt ner i vattnet. Och då åker båten baklänges. Och det som drog båten då var alltså starkare än motorn. Och då släppte jag den första linan och koncentrerade mig på den här där det var någonting stort som var på. Och jag hade en känsla av att jag halade mig efter linan, inte att jag drog in. Sen i nästa stund, det som kommer upp är större, längre än båten. Och båten är 4,30 meter lång. Och det första intrycket var att det var en lång ko som låg i vattnet, men jag såg aldrig något huvud på den. Och det var mörkt på ena sidan och det var ljus på den andra. Och på den ljusa sidan då så ser jag 2 liksom spröt som rör sig sakta mot varandra. De är ungefär 1 meter långa. Och det var som en andningsrörelse. Och då är det här djuret bara någon meter bakom propellern. Och vi var i chock, och jag trodde aldrig vi skulle överleva om det kom närmare. Jag trodde vi skulle kantra. Och jag vet inte hur länge vi satt där i båten, men det som hände det var att det ryckte till i linan. Och lekanet uppe vid huvudlinan gick sönder. Och så det som var på kroken åkte iväg med wobblen och lina. Och vi såg hur det bubblade på vattnet när det sjönk ner. Vi var i en chock. And I don't know how long time we waited sitting there.
Not wanting to damage his career, Evert waited until after his retirement before publicly disclosing his experience. If his story is to be believed, he and his wife are the witnesses who have come closest to the creature. That was also the last time Evert's wife ever ventured onto the lake. The history of the Great Lake Monster, or Storsey, goes as far back as the history of Sweden. One of the oldest references to its existence is found on a runestone dating from the Middle Ages.
During the Viking Age, Östersund wasn't founded, so the center of this part was the island in the lake called Frösön. And that's where we have all the remains from the Viking Age, the graves. We have the runic stone. That's the only one in this area. It was carved some time between 1050, 1070, we think.
There are several runestones in Scandinavia, most of which recall the epic battles and legendary figures who have marked the history of the peninsula. The rune in Östersund commemorates a turning point in the development of the region.
The runestone tells the story about who built the bridge between Frösön Island and what is now Östersund, and also about the Christianization of these lands, which took place around that time.
But what intrigues most is the engraving's depiction.
The picture of the dragon itself as the only dragon depicted on a runestone in Scandinavia could mean something, we don't know. Could be related to some ancient Viking folklore or something like that, which is very interesting.
And if it is often true that a picture is worth 1,000 words, in this case it seems to be worth 1,000 questions. In the 17th century, the first mention of a sea monster in Lake Storsjön appears in religious annals. From there, the beast enters local folklore.
A vicar in the 1650s, I think, was the first person to write something about it.
Without knowing it, the vicar gave birth to a legend that has inspired fear in local residents for centuries.
And it was two trolls who was cooking near the sea, and suddenly it was a big bang. And a cat was jumping up from the cooking and just jumped down to the Great Lake. Then we know that people talk about this for more than 400 years ago.
250 years later, the beast bursts forth from the world of fairy tales and legends to make a surprise appearance on the surface of the lake, in front of one of the region's most powerful political figures, no less.
In 1894, our Member of Parliament, Jöns Bromé, claimed he had seen the monster along with some of his friends. And they decided to pursue it. So they took some guns and some boats trying to catch the animal, but it was going too fast and it just disappeared down to the depths. And he actually told the press that he had seen the animal. And after that, we can see the rising of the observations of the animal, because of course, if a person with that high ranking in the society says he has seen the Great Lake Monster, it must exist.
That is probably the one time that had a real window open when people were fearless. They talked about it. And we have hundreds and hundreds of witness reports in the archives.
The media of the time seized on the story, and Storsey became the sought-after goal of a massive expedition.
It was a very interesting expedition, and even the Swedish king gave the company organization money because it was very interesting in what is it under the surface.
Prepared for whatever might come their way, the hunters left with a veritable arsenal of impressive instruments, all of which are now on display at the Yamtli Museum in Östersund.
In front of you, you have the trap that we used to trying to catch the monster in 1894. We put a pig in it and put it by the lake in hopes to get the monster into it. Here you also can see some of the other things we used to try to catch the monster. Here we have the harpoon, and they made a big hole in the ice. And a man stood by the hole with his harpoon, and hopefully he would see the monster, and then he could harpoon it. But the monster never showed itself, so he was not successful.
As a deputy director of Yamtli, it's important for us to show the story about the monster and the stories about all the people who have seen the monster, because it's such a big and important story of the region. People have been seeing this monster for 400 years. We can't just wipe that out of our history. It's an important part. So we couldn't really build a museum without it.
The Yamtli Museum in Östersund documents the history of Storsey and its numerous alleged appearances around the lake since the 1800s.
This is actually an embryo of the Great Lake monster. It was given to the museum on April 1st, 1986.
This embryo was found on the shore of the lake in 1984.
But it's very difficult to see if it's actually the Great Lake monster or if it's an embryo of something else. But the fun part is that it was given on April the 1st, Fool's Day. This is the map of the observation of the Great Lake monster. And as you can see, the most observations are around Östersund, Frösön.
Most sightings were indeed recorded around Frozen Lake, very near the site where 1,000 years earlier, the famous rune was erected.
This is actually not updated for the last 20 years, but it's still the same pattern today. So we see the monster where the people live. That's where the most sightings are.
We have maybe 5 to 10 witnesses or stories every year in local media. And if you think that maybe 1 out of every 10 that see something tell the press, well, then we're talking about thousands of witnesses.
But of the thousands of possible witnesses, many do not wish to publicly share their experiences. An association has been created to enable them to privately discuss their experiences.
This is how I think it is. Och flera har sett liksom en stock som ligger. Och de har sett att det är någonting ovanför vattenytan. De tror att det är en sten eller någonting.
Among people who have witnessed this, there's this association called Storsjöodjuret. They have meetings on a yearly basis. They move from town to town around the lake like this. Every year new witnesses come forward at those meetings. Usually there's about 80 to 100 people.
So they have a meeting every summer, and then they can talk together about what they have seen.
And it's serious.
Evert Festen is an influential member of the Association of the Friends of Storsey, created in 1990. Currently, there are 90 registered members who meet several times a year to discuss their experiences.
Så det var ju det här som var lite konstigt.
Ja, det är så konstigt.
Men har du sett någon fisk som har ögonbryn?
Nej,
det är inte jag har aldrig sett det förut.
Evert, who stayed silent for decades, understands the importance of creating a space in which everyone can express themselves with confidence and in safety. It may be that way, he believes, that the mystery of Lake Storsjön will one day be solved.
It can be up to 5,000-6,000 people have seen it, but many of them don't talk. And every evening we have this, there come new witnesses.
Some people come along and they say, well, I saw this in 1945. I've kept secret, I haven't talked about it. But you hear all these stories. And then you start to think, how many people have seen this? Must be quite a number of them.
Each testimony reported to the association is recorded. They note all the details and circumstances of the sightings, and the data is then examined, compared and measured.
Och jag har rapporter då på att det var en som såg 3 stycken som simmar bredvid varandra.
I can't say that I saw the same animal twice or if it was 2 different individuals. The first I saw was obviously huge. The second was a little bit, not quite as big as I would have envisaged after the first. But, you know, there's bound to be a family of sorts in the lake, a population of them, that maybe they can communicate some way.
Everybody say the Great Lake Monster or Storsjöodjuret. I would rather say Storsjöodjuren, the Great Lake Monsters, because I don't think that there is just one animal monster or whatever it is. It has to be more of them, because we can go back 1,000 years from now, and I don't think that the monster or whatever it could be that old.
It's very interesting that when the Ice Age came to a halt, new lakes were created that was connected to the sea. And I believe that whatever this is, it has to be a family of something that once existed in the sea that now lives in this lake. Something that we thought was perhaps extinct. Could be some type of relative to maybe plesiosaurs or something. I don't know, but a lot of people have seen the long neck, and what I saw, how could that swim like that if it didn't have fins and maybe some sort of a tail helping it to move along?
It should be most natural to have that it would be a fish at least, because if it would be a mammal, then where does it live during the winter? I mean, where to get some air and breathe? So that's why I think it should be a fish.
Some divers have seen some big heels. It could be the both. Big fishes, and it could be something that we have not find out what it is at the moment.
Alla de här då, som är en vacker dag så är det någon som får en riktig närbild.
My name is Yvonne Lundin, and I'm a cryptozoologist. Cryptozoology is about animals that are not proven existing. Crypto stands for hidden, and zoology is, well, animal kingdom. I don't consider myself as a believer. Because it's non-scientific to be believing in things. It's better to keep an open mind. And I have a quite open mind about there being something in the lake. I just don't know what.
Yvonne's approach to the Storsey mystery must be considered rational and evidence-based, a fact that surprises mainstream scientists who view Yvonne's discipline of cryptozoology with skepticism.
In the scientific society, there is a very anti-cryptozoology feeling. It falls under almost the same thing as alien sightings or ghosts. And they find this area being a lost cause.
If the Storsey riddle is considered by scientists to be a lost cause, it's probably because for every person who believes in the monster, there are others who are skeptical and sometimes go as far as to openly discredit arguments for the monster's existence.
Both skeptics and professional skeptics, scientists, use the same explanation for every sea monster sighting ever, everywhere on the planet. Great catfish, big log, weather phenomena, birds, swimming elks, but I'm not sure that's very common in other parts of the world.
There are people who don't believe in this, and they don't go to our meetings and listen. And they say it's impossible, and they think we are crazy.
They usually don't call people liars to their face, but behind their back, certainly. Oh, he wants to be in the paper. He said he saw a monster. It's very sad, really.
It angers me that people that have seen this are treated like this. It's like bullies in a schoolyard sort of situation. Mr. Festin's sighting is one of the really good ones, and he's working so hard, and he you know, people like that, you shouldn't belittle them. I think that's disgraceful. But someday, you know, people like him and others that work with this will be vindicated, and, you know, I hope it happens within a few years.
I really don't know why people believe or don't believe, but I think that the people who believe in the monster, the Great Lake monster, they have actually seen something that they can't explain in any other way than that it must be an animal. You can see it in other countries as well. The Great Lake monster has cousins in Scotland, in Norway, in the US, and all over the world. So it's not only in Östersund that we see this kind of animal, so it has to be something that the human being is seeing and trying to explain all over the world.
We discover new animals almost every year, new sharks, new seals. And maybe we have something extraordinary here that one day will just be a complete sensation. And then we will have the scientists coming here. And I'll say, told you so.
Efforts to capture Storsey or to try to prove its existence have not been successful so far, despite the sophisticated attempts made by the most convinced. But this is not a reason to give up. Over time, interest in solving the mystery has not diminished. Only the methods have changed.
Today we're going to dive for the Storsey in the Great Lake, and we will be going down to about maximum of 18 meters.
These divers will explore the depths of the lake in the hope not of capturing the beast, but of obtaining images of it or any traces it might have left behind. Residents of Östersund and any interested tourists are invited to attend the peculiar dive school.
So the Great Lake Monster course is designed for 2 days. It's 1 day of theory. The next day is 2 dives that we're gonna look at the monster.
We have this story of the monster, so it's fun to take it and see what you can find.
To help maximize the chances of success on these expeditions, the dives are done only under the most favorable weather conditions and are mostly carried out between the island of Frösön and Östersund's shore. Hans and Linus are very experienced diving instructors. They have spent dozens of hours exploring the depths of many bodies of water around the world. But according to them, nothing compares to a dive into Lake Storsjön.
I've never seen the Great Lake monster, Storsjöodjuret, but sometimes can feel like something is watching us when we do diving. It felt like, who's there?
You can feel in your stomach when you dive that there is something around you, but you can't really make for sure what it is. And the first time I felt that, my pulse went up. and I have to control myself a bit because it was a bit scary. But then I looked up and I couldn't see anything. It's a bit hard to describe, but I have never felt that before anywhere else. It's not every dive that you have the feeling either. It's specific dives, but many of my dives I have felt it. It was not a good Great Lake Monster Day today.
This was the second dive in my monster program, and I didn't see anything. I didn't feel anything.
We saw a lot of plants, but no fish. And the monster's primary food is fish, so I don't think it's around here right now. When we dived here last time, it was more summer. So I think it's probably gone deeper now for the winter.
You never know how many dives you have to do. If you're lucky, you can find it, but some must dive a lot of times.
I hope that I one day will spot Storsjöodjuret, and I hopefully have my camera with me so that I can show it to the world.
An hour's drive south of Östersund, in the city of Svenstavik, other means are still taken to try to locate Storsey.
Today we're going to search for the Great Lake Monster, Storsjöodjuret. Beautiful weather, a little bit rough on the sea maybe, but the weather is so good, the condition is perfect for it, so let's go for it.
Suzanne Kinström has hunted the creature for years. She directs a research center focused on Storsey. With her team, she travels the lake extensively, looking for clues.
Nu hoppar den där borta i.
In 2008, Suzanne decided to take drastic measures.
One of our members saw something in the summer 2007, and that gave us an idea to work with cameras.
We have behind us now the small islet with the cameras. You can see the 4 cameras over the surface, but we have also cameras under the surface. 3 who's searching for the monster in real time, so we can see it from the observation center.
In 2009, Suzanne established an observation center to find the Great Lake Monster, complete with the most sophisticated equipment.
This is what we call the surveillance station, where we have the live feed cameras. Every time there's a movement, the cameras will register it, and we can go back and watch it and see what it is. This technology is very unique for a museum. It's very easy, like with the touchscreen, you don't have to use any tools. Anyone can use it, from a 70-year-old to a 3-year-old.
With its permanent monitoring system capable of detecting movements on the surface of the water, as well as in its depths, the Great Lake Monster Center is unique in the world. Some devices are even programmed to be sensitive to heat.
This is the only center in Sweden as a sort of a museum combined with high technology. That's why we want to have people to come here and be a searcher.
In being invited to scrutinize the images captured by underwater cameras, visitors become involved in research efforts. They are encouraged to share their observations, which are then analyzed by the researchers.
So you don't know when the time comes, but you must have the situation, and now we have it with the cameras.
Images captured by visitors shortly after the center's opening have piqued the curiosity of hundreds of thousands of internet users.
It was in the video, it was a small thing, just like a small worm, but it has an interesting mouth, just an upside-down mouth. It's not a fish, it's not a frog, but it has a very interesting head. When people around the world saw it, it was a big bang for us. And then on 3 days, 500,000 people was just coming in the website. Then we understand that people all around the world are very interested in unknown things.
And someday, because of the new technology, we'll know. But for the moment, it's very difficult, and it's a big lake. The people that are currently doing it are doing it on sort of one location, hoping to find it over there, I guess. But science has a long way to go yet. We need the new technologies here to really find out about this. Get the money to do proper research with sonar equipment and so on a much larger scale. That's the answer.
When you come to Östersund, you will notice the animal on quite a few places. And it's obvious that the municipality of Östersund, they really want to make it the symbol of the city.
Up to now, observing Storsey in its natural habitat has been an unrealized dream. But it's impossible to miss him on the streets of Östersund.
I don't think tourists are attracted to coming here, especially for the monster, but it gives the area a special value, special characteristics that are positive for the region.
According to many residents, Storsey brought Östersund out of obscurity, and some are convinced that the creature could further enhance the local economy.
The monster is somewhat important to the tourism to Östersund, but it could be more important. I think we are a bit hesitating how much we should use it in the marketing of the region and the city, because on one hand it's a great symbol and we like the story and we think it's special, and on the other hand some people think it's a bit embarrassing. Oh, should we really be famous for something that maybe don't exist?
I think it could be much bigger, in fact. I think they have underestimated the potential for tourism and so on. So people know that this is not just an ordinary town, we have something special here.
The Great Lake Monster is an important part of the cultural heritage of Jämtland, and as a curator of the museum and the deputy director, I'm not really interested in whether it exists or not. The important thing to us is the stories that people have to tell, and we are full of respect for all the witnesses and the people that claim that they have seen something, because they have. We absolutely believe that they have seen something, and it's their stories that we collect, and it's their stories that's important to us.
I think the general public is not going to have too much of an interest in this until the day comes when you have the big headlines. They have now conclusive a shot of film or something, or a dead animal. Then it will be a world sensation. Everybody will talk about it. It will be one of the biggest stories of our lives, really. I really hope that in my lifetime we will find out what it is.